Yeah, Sarah does send her apologies. So she sent me and I said, but I also saw that Sarah was on the call. So I'm sure if I get
Okay,
too
of
stuck, she
course.
might be able to help me. But I should be able to do. So I coached this project. So I do know a little bit about it. And basically this was brought out following the COVID-19 pandemic. And it was about GP referrals to fatigued patients to post-COVID and chronic fatigue service. And also there'd been some change in the NICE guidance as well. So it was trying to reflect that. And it was trying to basically support, a bit like before actually, about inappropriate referrals into the service and trying to streamline what was going in so that the team had better utilisation of their staff in terms of being able to manage appropriate referrals that were coming in, and also to help support GP diagnosis to make sure they were going into the correct pathways. Next slide, please. So the aim of the project was to try and reduce inappropriate referrals into the chronic fatigue service by 10%. And we were measuring with that the total number of referrals against the percentage of inappropriate referrals and the percentage of patients that were seen within 18 weeks. And you'll see there was a slight change in the measure when you look at the graphs at the moment as well. And that was for the date of diagnosis. So we've just got a little bit around it. It was quite a small project team that we had there as well. Sorry, you can carry on, it's fine. And in terms of we had really heavy service user involvement in this project as well. So basically, change ideas. We tried to recruit some GPs to help us to review the new referral form, because what this service is GP only referral. So we tried really hard to try and engage with them. We did get some engagement, but not as much as we'd have liked in terms of looking at what that new referral form would look like. Recruited some service users, so they gave us some amazing feedback. So they did help us a lot inform that sort of new referral form, looking at what is it that they would expect to be asked, so we could make sure we were capturing their views and sort of how they felt within that referral form. In September 2023, there was an implementation of the new form on Ardens, and then it was reviewed again in March, which was sort of at the end of the project, to sort of update it based on things that had been learnt in terms of what had been populated well. And you'll see there's a bit of learning actually on another slide. They also reviewed their referral to treatment times to align with the wider standard for RTT, and basically stopping the clock at diagnosis, which we all see will be reflected in their data in a further slide. Thank you. So referred to the correct, so making sure that the GPs were, so I've got a number of referrals on here at the moment. As you can see, it's been fairly consistent across the whole time. So actually referrals into the pathway were fairly consistent. And if you go on to the next slide, I think the next slide talks about percentage of the inappropriate referrals. So you can see that there was a drop with the creation of the new form, making sure that people were referred into the correct pathways, ruling out people that didn't meet any diagnostic criteria. Apologies.
I think you've just gone on mute
Sorry,
there,
I have.
Sharon.
Sorry, my dog was going mad, so I was trying not
Okay.
to subject you to the fact that the dog is going mental. So, yeah, next slide, please. So you can basically, this is about the referral to treatment, and it's a little bit, the data here is a little bit erroneous, because this all reflects as well where they changed their RTT standards. So actually what it does show though is that there is a really good referral to treatment time within the service. There were improved efficiencies because they weren't having to screen out so many inappropriate referrals, but also what you also need to bear in mind is that the review for the RTT was changed as well, which meant that actually we are more responsive. And actually what this data is demonstrating is actually they have no waits now. They are an under 18-week service within chronic fatigue and post-COVID chronic fatigue. So actually with the reduction in the inappropriate referrals, it has meant that they've got more time to actually triage and see appropriate referrals that are coming through to the service. Next slide, please. There's been a gradual progression to the project aim, so it has taken a little while to get this. We've had challenging from engagement from the GPs, and although we haven't had as much engagement as we'd have liked, actually what we are seeing though is a positive impact on terms of the appropriateness of the referrals. There was some limitations on the system because our GPs colleagues use Ardens, and that's how our referrals come in. And what we wanted to do was make some of the fields more mandatory to sort of force some of those elements to be added onto the referral form, but that is a limitation that sits within Ardens, which we can't control because it's obviously an outside contract that the GPs are using. So that was a little bit around our understanding of the GP systems. To gain input from service users as early as possible, provided quality and innovation input. So it was really important for us around the service users and how they felt their journey from sort of that GP referral through to the service. It was really important to gain their views and their input in terms of from the whole process. And the additional benefit of the new referral form is it has supported the chronic fatigue team to more effectively triage patients. As I said, their waiting times have gone down because they're now triaging and seeing the appropriate patients within that. And although I think we've the percentage, I don't think they quite got to the percentage that they wanted to. It seems to have disappeared off there. I can't remember what the percentage. I can't remember if you remember, if Will's on here, what the percentage was now in terms of the improvement over time, because it was on the previous slide. I don't know whether it's come out. Is he there? No.
Okay. It said a drop in 10%, I think.
I was right, drop 10, yeah, 10%. Yeah, I think we got down to about 9. So we nearly made it. Nearly there. Yeah. Is there another slide after this? So yeah, so it's already business as usual. They're going to continue to monitor the data, if any, and they're going to also then look for any pockets. So they will now look at if they get any pockets in inappropriate referrals, and they're going to work directly with those GP practices. I think there's a sort of wider bit of work around the service in the future, so there probably will be some more work that come out around referral criteria in the future. But at the moment, it's definitely had an impact, and the team have definitely seen a benefit from it.